Hey, g'day guys, Kristen Harper here. Welcome to episode 11 of Sales Lovin. In this episode, I'll be talking about, in that very first meeting, getting credibility and that next step. So, in the last two videos, I've spoken about number one, establishing rapport and getting a connection with the prospect. Then the second part of that was questioning. Now, this is the third part, and I sort of call this credibility and that next step. Now, the reason I've left this to last, opposed to talking about credibility, do it before the questioning, is around the questioning, I want to find out where all the angles and the opportunities are to tell them about our services and how we can fit them in with some of the challenges that they've had. So I'll sort of look at this a couple of ways. After I've done all the questioning and that side of it, I'll ask the client or the prospect, I'll say to them, what do you actually know about me, or what do you know about us and what we actually do? And depending on how they answer that, shows how engaged they are. So if they say, we don't really know anything about you, then you've got a bit of work to do. But if they've checked out your website and your LinkedIn, then they're a bit more engaged. So it's quite a nice, easy way to find out where they're sort of sitting with you. And one of the things I generally tend to ask is, can you tell me about the relationship with your incumbent supplier? So, and that'll tell you a lot as well, because if they say to you, I don't want to tell you about that, then they've got a good relationship with them. If they're pretty open to, divulging, what's been happening with their current supplier, then that's sort of a good thing. And sometimes I used to always ask, or sometimes I ask is, who's your current rep? And if they say their name, then they've got a relationship. If they don't know who they are, then they don't. So just these little, these little tips just to let you know how you're going with things. Now, the other thing that is important to ask them is, probably one of the most important things is, do you have budget for working with us? So you need to establish, if they do have budget, and then secondly, ask them what the process is for them making a decision on this. So is the person that you're meeting with making the decision, or is there going to be a number of other people that are in part of that process? Because if there is, then you're going to have to find a way to influence them as well. Once you get all of that, then it's about getting commitment to that next meeting, to that next stage. You've done all the background, you've got all the information you can from them, you've taken a lot of notes. Now, the next part of this will be coming up with a solution to win their business. So, really, these are really key steps to setting yourself up to win them as a client. So, just to go over it again, that first video was getting connection, getting rapport. The second part of that was questioning. The third part is credibility and establishing, what those timelines are, if they have budget and all those sort of things. Now, before you leave, it's about getting the commitment to that next meeting. So hope you got value out of this. Share with people or that you think needs to hear it, and look forward to speaking with you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.